Rocket League is a unique game unlike any other out there. To us Rocketeers, this game is a journey of constant grinding to go one rank higher, those afternoons sitting in training trying to perfect that new mechanic, and a roller coaster of emotions. There is something about this game that keeps us coming back. I mean, I've been playing this game since 2016 and to this day I'm still hooked. But why haven't I been drawn to other games like Fortnite or Overwatch? Why is Rocket League so addictive? If we take a look at the concept behind Rocket League, it's essentially car soccer, but these cars that you play with are actually rocket powered. You know, you're not just going to be driving along in this little Tonka truck of a car pushing a soccer ball into a goal. You're actually going to be flying at ridiculous speeds, pulling off these crazy mechanics that no one would even think is possible in such a jam-packed 5 minutes of gameplay. Add in the fact that you've also got a massive cage surrounding you and you've got quite an interesting game on your hands. This hybrid concept blends a sports game and a racing game together in a way. These skills that you learn in Rocket League don't actually translate from your typical sports or racing games like FIFA and Forza Horizon. You're left to your own two hands to help you learn these mechanics in this game. And yeah, it often leads to quite a lot of frustration and anger wanting to peg your controller at the wall. The mechanics in Rocket League aren't simple and actually take some time and dedication to learn. You're not going to suddenly pick up this game in 5 minutes and be a master at it. Heck, I've got over 5,000 hours in this game and I'm still not good at it. I mean, after all, we all do suck at Rocket League in some way. And do you want to know the reason why? Well, Rocket League is actually a physics-based game, so there is a certain way to hit the ball, a certain way to control your car, and you'll also know when you're doing something wrong. There is an extremely high skill ceiling to Rocket League 2, with so many new mechanics and methods of playing the game being utilised in recent years. Who knows what Rocket League gameplay will look like in 5 years' time? You've also got no items or power-ups to rely on in this game, besides the Rumble game mode of course, and must solely utilise your own skill to win a game. All cars are equal on the playing field too. Your little top hat and skull antenna aren't going to affect the gameplay. Psyonix, the creators of Rocket League, have capitalised on creating a competitive environment with such a basic game. If you were to show Rocket League to someone that had never seen the game before, they'd be able to understand the aim of the game pretty quickly. A 5-minute flying car soccer game and the team with the most goals at the end of the game wins. The competitive nature to Rocket League can also hook in a player wanting to progress to the higher ranks in the game, but also, as you start to dedicate more time into this game, you also begin to notice your progression in skill level. Rocket League is quite rewarding in this fact that you can actually see your progress being made. There's also a satisfying feeling as a player knowing that you can actually execute quite a complex mechanic, then boast about it to your friends the next day saying, look what I can do, then not actually being able to execute said mechanic. The objective to score in your opponent's goal becomes a strategic game plan, requiring a player to execute a mechanic in a certain way, such as flip resets that Platinums can seem to pull off these days. How can I forget? Add in the trash talk from your opponent and it adds another level to a 5-minute game, exchanging what-if saves between each other as the game continues on, and the cheeky one-liners thrown out to get in each other's minds, similar to other esports games. Oh Rocket League, I love you for this. The rise of Rocket League's popularity is also thanks to the introduction of the Rocket League Championship Series. The first season of the RLCS would see the best teams in the world compete against each other for a prize pool of $55,000. But not only was it the fact that these young players were now playing for prize money that they could essentially start making a living off of, but the ability to capture the hearts of a global community who love this game so much. I know for me, after watching the first RLCS Grand Final, I wanted to get better at the game and potentially also compete at the highest level. In a way, RLCS also started to breed healthy competition amongst the player base, with many grassroots competitions starting to evolve from it, feeding that competitive itch for players wanting to compete for a spot in the RLCS competition. I also remember the early days where my favourite RLCS team, F2, also tried to compete for a spot. I remember binge watching John's and Rob's video the entire afternoon, purely captivated by the raw emotion for competing in the qualifiers. You also had content creators from across the world uploading thousands of hours worth of content each day, showing off new freestyle shots they were able to hit, their rise to Grand Champion, and just general gameplay, attracting even more players to this already amazing game. I feel like the reason Rocket League succeeded so well was the passionate community behind it. I know I tried to convince as many of my friends as possible to play the game. Secretly though, I was trying to search for my next twos partner to play with and rank up to Grand Champion at the time. After a number of seasons, Rocket League finally made a huge announcement in that it was going free to play in 2020, allowing even more new players to try the game out with no barriers to entry. Yes, we did see an influx of new players, and hey, we'll probably see some of those players eventually become pros. However, it's this passionate community that continues to evolve. And I feel like it's this community that makes Rocket League so addictive, discussing the new mechanics on the subreddit, new strategies, tips on how to improve the game, seeing all these uploads to YouTubes, the best training packs and so on. There is a ton of content and information shared across the Rocket League community that make it the great game it is today. People care about the game and the decisions the creators of it make. For example, when Rocket League was bought out by Epic Games, the lack of quality of life updates, downloadable content prices going through the roof, and not keeping the community informed on what was happening with the game, regarding updates and the roadmap ahead. I've loved Rocket League ever since I was introduced to it in 2016. It gives me the feeling like I'm playing a sport, seeing that sense of progression and improvement in my rank, as well as the ability to dedicate time to training aspects of my gameplay. And it's honestly a weird feeling to describe that I feel like I'm playing sport when I'm playing Rocket League. Competition is another thing in this game. I've grown up all my life playing sports, and Rocket League now feels that competitive itch I get to compete against others from the comfort of my own home and as my body gets older too. But also, cars. I've loved cars ever since I was younger, collecting Hot Wheels and playing video games like Burnout, Forza and Need for Speed, so I was instantly hooked when my brother introduced it to me and what I thought was just going to be another car game. It also got me through some pretty rough times in my life and was always there if ever I just needed to clear my head. And finally, the sudden sense of accomplishment when I saw that shiny Grand Champion logo appear on my screen when I'd hit the rank. It was a gaming moment that I will remember for quite a long time. As someone who never used to play video games before, Rocket League kind of took over my world and it's become part of who I am today. I think I will continue to play Rocket League for quite a while longer and collect as many Grand Champion titles as possible, maybe a Supersonic Legend one too. I've also discovered a new hobby in making Rocket League content, so I'm really excited to see what the future of the game looks like and what kind of content I'll be making. It's been a breath of fresh air to have a creative project outside of full-time work to focus on. No matter how late it is, there is always time for one more game.